All right, guys, thank you for joining me again. I was just on the phone with Autumn, so just talking real quick as to what happened. And yes, so now what happened to her sounds way more plausible than I originally thought. What I originally thought was just that some fuckface, but it was more complex. I'll let her explain that in detail to you guys if she does another video on it. But yeah, it fucking sucks, dude. All right, my mother Spark. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. But anyway, let's get right into it because we're not going to. I'm not going to drag this one out like I've dragged out the last 8 shows I've had. So, with this, guys, we are now faced with some bullshit, if you will, some Mick bullshit. Stanford University is releasing a guide this week on harmful languages that it wants to remove from online properties, and they are eventually going to have dictionaries get rid of them. But right now, they're not talking about that. Noting that also note that the term American is also offensive. The project is known as Elimination of Harmful Language Initiative. List of prohibited terms under 10 categories, including racism, homophobia, and ableism. Ableism. Anyway, hey McBean, what's going on, man? Thank you for the card. I got your card. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. So, language affects different people in different ways. We are not attempting to assign levels of harm to the terms of the site. We are not attempting to address all informed uses of language. Yes, they are. That's like I don't want to go there, but this is according to Stanford University. They said we're also not attempting to address all informal use of the language. Now, let's dive right into this fucking soup sandwich of a fucking website. The website is called Introduction to Elimination of Harmful Language Initiative website. It's on stanford.edu. You type that in, it takes you to this website. In the website, there are 2 links at the bottom that takes you to another page called Suggested Language List. Now, when you go to the Suggested Language List, there are 4 categories: identity-based, violent language, culturally appropriate language, language that doesn't say what we mean. That doesn't say what we mean. So we're going to start with some of these. We can't go down all of them because we'll be ripping our hair out by the end of this fucking live stream, and we're gonna fucking want to punch out fucking computers as well. So with that, guys, we're gonna jump around this list a little bit. So they said instead of saying you guys, ladies and gentlemen, they would like you to use y'all, folks with an X, FOLX, friends, loved one, people, everyone. Instead of saying policeman, congressman, mailman, landlord, say police officer, congressperson, postal carrier, property owner, because landlord is a masculine language. Why they want you to not use these terms? These examples either lump all people under one masculine language, or within the gender binary, man or woman, which doesn't include everyone. So if you say ladies and guys, because that doesn't include non-binary people, they want you to use everyone and folks. Now, folks, FOLX. I don't know how I'm going to get through this fucking shit show. I really don't. You can't say freshman because of the word man. You have to say first year student. You can't say she or he. They don't want you to say she or he. They want you to say they or ask their pronoun. Fuck your pronouns. Seriously. The last thing I'm worried about when I meet somebody is like, yo, what are your pronouns? Go fuck yourself. And if you ever fucking tell me your pronouns are they, we, and I, you can eat a big fat dick. Right? So anyway. Oh, so I know some of you guys watch black movies. I know not everybody on here does. I was watching The Best Man, right? So a lot of you remember Best Man. It was Morris Chestnut, Tate Diggs, Regina Hall. The hot chicks were in it, and it was a good show. So then they had Best Man Holidays. right? So you watch Best Man Holidays. Oh, that was a good movie too. And then they have Best Man, the TV show. I'm like, all right. So I get to episode 5, and I turned it off right away because the problem with the episode, holy shit, TV shows today, guys, they got to add a gay character in every fucking TV show now. It's fucking overboard. It's enough. But this TV show went a step ahead. So Morris Chestnut, if you never seen Best Man or The Best Man, Morris Chestnut played a football player, right? He was like the most masculine guy in that show, in that movie. With that being said, in the TV show, his son is a non-binary who wears a dress and pants together, and his pronouns are they and we, and he goes, my true pronouns are. And so the character, what's her name? She still is hot, but what's her name? Naomi Campbell. Fuck, I gotta pull up her name. She's in the show, and so when Morris Chestnut's son comes out to her, she goes, I'm proud of you. It's fabulous. Like, everybody in these TV shows, they're automatically accepting. Like, there's no fucking discrepancies. There's no judgment. It's just all accepting. And I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, with that being said, I turned the show off immediately. As soon as that kid said that, I was like, boop, fuck that show. And it was a good show right up until that point. Nia Long, not Naomi. Nia Long. Thank you, Harriet Tubman Shotgun. Right, when Nia Long was like, I'm so proud of you, I was like, fuck this show, and I was done with it. And I really wanted to watch it, man. I was like, I like the Best Man movies. I thought they were really good, but whatever. So fuck their pronouns, right in the ass. So here's another one. This is Harriet Tubman's Shotgun. Listen to this one. Instead of using African American, unless the person identifies as such, they rather use black with a capital B. For black folks born in the United States, hyphenate their identities can be interpreted on others, and there are also people from Africa as well, yada yada, whatever. And we recommend using black as a default, but now they're telling us how to talk. Now they're saying, don't use African American, or we suggest you don't use African American, use black, and use black as a default, and make sure when you use black, it's a capital B. The fuck is going on here? Anyway, pronouns are gay. Yes, pronouns are very gay. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Who the hell is black? But, all right, so, all bites language. Ableist language. Let's go over some of these. Instead of saying crazy, insane, and wild, say, wow, that's bananas. Uncool, disappointing. Lame. Uncool, disappointing. Don't say walk in, say dropped in. Because not all people can walk. Is why they don't want you to use walk in. Don't say spaz. I'm very organized, detail-oriented, or I am all over the place. What? That upsets me. So don't say spaz. Guess what the fuck I'm going to be saying. Don't say handicap, say accessible space. Don't say handicap space, say autistic person or person with autism or neurodivergent. Okay, let's jump around here. Transgendered, don't say that, say transgender person. They are transgender. While grammatically correct, transgender without the ED is used to avoid connotations that being transgender is something that has been done in the past to a person, and to create distance from the misconception that being trans requires a before and after surgery or other form of transition. That's exactly what the fuck it means. Transgender means transitioning to another gender. What the fuck am I reading? Listen, I didn't want to read this on my own. I wanted to read this together so we can all be like, what the fuck moment. All right. Don't use victim or survivor, person who has experienced, whatever that is, person who has been impacted by whatever it is. Some folks identify with one or both of these labels, in which case we suggest mirroring the language. Eat a dick, wheelchair bound, person who uses a wheelchair. They rather you say. Don't say addicted. Person with substance use disorder. Using first person language can mitigate the implications that their addiction is a defined quality or they are not able to recover. It's exactly what the fuck it. All right. Sorry. Prisoner. Don't say prisoner convict. Person who was incarcerated. Hey, that guy was a person who was incarcerated. First person language avoids defining the person by their experience. So if they're in prison, you can't call them a prisoner because at that moment they are a prisoner experiencing prison. Slave, enslaved person. Oh my God. Don't say illegal immigrant or illegal alien. Say undocumented person. Illegal applies to the act, not a person. The term alien can dehumanize. Oh, we're going to be using that shit so much more. Oh, also, hearing impaired, deaf. So they don't want you to use hearing impaired. They want you to use deaf, referring to one person, or deaf referring to the condition, or hard of hearing. What? It implies something that has been lost or broken. Hearing impaired. It is broken. Their eardrums are whatever. Yeah, listen, guys. According to this, we're all going to jail. That was language-based language. Let's move over to culturally appropriative language. Culturally appropriative language. You can't say tribes. Say friends, group, and pals. Oh, God, I guess prepper tribe's in trouble now. Say, instead of saying pow, powwow, say meeting, gathering, or parties. First of all, who the fuck says powwow anymore? Like, seriously. I don't know anybody that goes, yo, guys, we're going to have a powwow now. Whatever. Spiritual animal. Why can't you use this one? This one's interesting. You can't use it because only Native Americans are allowed to use this term. If I'm not mistaken, in some cultures and spiritual traditions, spiritual animals refer to as spiritual animal that helps guide and or protect a person through the journey. Equate this with an animal you like strips the term of its significance. What in the actual fuck am I reading? You can't say bottom of the totem pole. Totem poles do not portray a hierarchy based on physical position. No, it's actually just a term. Open the kimono. Reveal inside information. I never heard that one. Open the kimono. Expresses the rooted. This expression is rooted in sexism and exotism. Open the kimono. Huh. Whatever. Exactly, Michelle Diaz. I thought they didn't want us to say deaf. Don't call me deaf. Call me hearing impaired. Now we're back to fucking deaf. All right. Violence. Violent language. You can't say, they say, not that they can't say that, they're asking you not to say this. Instead of saying killing it, say great job or awesome, and make sure you give them the thumbs up. Take a shot, pull the trigger, take a stab at it, give it a go, or try. They don't want you to say take a shot or pull the trigger or take a stab at it. This expression needlessly uses imagery of hurting someone or something. If someone goes, yo, give it a shot, the first thing in my head is not someone getting shot. Oh, here we go. This gets better. This gets really better. It doesn't get any better than this. Trigger warning. They don't want you to say trigger warning. They want you to say content note. Warning can signify that something is imminent or guaranteed to happen, which may cause additional stress about the content being covered. We also never guarantee that someone will not be triggered during a conversation or training. People trigger very widely because they're fucking pussies. What the fuck, man? Oh, rule of thumb, general rule. This expression allegedly comes from an old British law allowing men to beat their wives with a stick no wider than their thumb. However, no written record of this law exists today. The earliest recording of this usage expression was in an attribute to the English judge Sir Francis Buller in the 18th century. It has been found in the U.S. court from the 19th century. So you can't say rule of thumb. You got to say general rule. I think I'm getting triggered by this shit. I'm seriously like losing my shit over this. Go off the reservation, disagree with the person, or deflect from the group. The phrase is harmful history rooted in violence, removal of indigenous people from their land. The horrible consequences. Hey, that guy's off the reservations, man. Don't talk to him. That's not what I think about. Like, none of these things, even though I know the history of a lot of these words, not all of them. I didn't know the rule of thumb. I know the history of a lot of these words. I don't ever go back and go, man, I wonder if that's going to traumatize someone. Like wife beater. Call it a white ribbed tank top or undershirt. This trivializes relationship violence. It trivializes calling a wife beater trivializes relation. No, it doesn't. Because he's wearing a wife beater, he's beating his wife are two very different things. Picnic. Call it outdoor eating. The term picnic is associated with the lynching of black folks in the United States, during which white spectators were said to have been watching while eating. There was also, I heard this years ago, that picnic was also pick a nigger and hang him from a tree, that kind of bullshit, but I don't know how fucking true that was. But nonetheless, they were close to it in this history lesson, if you will. I'm still saying picnic. Again, fuck them, right in the ass. All right. Violent idioms about animals. More than one way to skin a cat. They don't want you to say that. Multiple ways to accomplish a task. Killing two birds with one stone. Feeding two birds with seeds and taking care of two things at once. Feeding two birds with one seed. You can't feed two birds with one seed. Killing two birds with one stone. Taking care of two things at once. Or feeding two. Get the fuck out of here. Beating a dead horse. Refusing to let something go. This expression normalizes violence against animals. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. They don't want you to say this. Paper, rock, scissor, or coin toss. American version of this rhyme used to racial slurs alluded to capturing enslaved people who had escaped. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. That one I never heard of. All right. Okay. All right. Cultural, violent, identity-based language that doesn't mean what we say. All right, guys. It's going to get worse. Hang on to your nutsacks and your breast ladies, because this is going to get stupid. All right. They don't want you to say child prostitute or sex with an underage person or non-consensual sex. They want you to say child who has been trafficked or raped. I thought they didn't want you to say rape because rape was triggering. Years ago, they said rape was triggering. They wanted you to use non-consensual sex. Now we're back to rape. Abusive relationship. A person who's been with an abusive person. They don't want you to say abusive relationship. They want you to say relationship with a person who is abused. Relationships don't perpetuate abuse. Abuses do. It is important to name that someone is doing this. Stupid. The child prostitute or sex with an underage child or non-consensual sex, the explanation for them wanting to use a raped or child who's been trafficked is sex with someone without consent is rape. It is important to name this. Shitballs. Everything goes on right now. This is what they don't want you to say. Everything going on right now. Okay, guys. I'm just as confused about this one. So bear with me. Instead of saying everything going on right now, they want you to say police brutality, protest, BLM, Mr. 19, and etc. Name what you're referring to. Being vague about important issues risk miscommunication and can also avoid accountability. No, you say everything going on right now when you talk about your problems beforehand. You know, I'm doing this, I'm losing weight, I'm getting divorced, I'm losing my family, and then you say, and then you refer back to it, with everything going on right now, that's the last thing I need. No one says with everything going on right now and leads the story with that. That is so stupid. Okay. Here's committed suicide, failed. Oh. Instead of saying committed suicide, failed successful suicide, or completed suicide, say died by suicide, suicided, or killed themselves. These verbs frame suicide as a crime. These verb frames suicide as a crime committed. No, it doesn't. It means the actual achievement of something. Anyway, failed, successful, completed, implying judgment about suicidality. Suicidality. I'm pretty sure I fucked that up too. Oh, God. Here we go. Female identifying, male identifying, female body, male body. Instead of saying that, they want you to say, depending on who you mean, women, including trans women, cisgender women, men assigned female, male at birth. Men are not assigned female, men at birth. Men are men at birth. These terms imply that the person's identity isn't real, or that their body defines them in a different way than might be identified. Get the fuck out of here with that one. Instead of saying, I'm going to kill myself, when said as a joke, said, I'm really upset, I'm so overwhelmed. Joking about suicide minimizes the problem and belittles people who may be considering suicide. Oh, God. Instead of saying Facebook stalking, say lurking or researching online. So instead of Facebook stalking, I guess, in referring to someone else stalking you, they want you to say researching online. So my ex-husband has been researching me online through my Facebook page. No. Stalking refers to lurking someone's social media page, can make light of an experience, whatever. I can't even finish this. Going postal. Don't say that. Say, get angry, lose my temper. The origin of the expression came from a postal worker who murdered his co-workers back in 1986. That was the first postal shooting that they talked about. Don't say master, master bedroom, master a skill. Say main, owner, bedroom, primary bedroom, or becoming an expert. The term master carries strong connections to American slavery and is inherently gender masculine. So now we got to change language because it's masculine. They want to feminize words, that's fine, but because it's masculine, they want to get rid of it. Guys, this is like a shit fest right now. This is the biggest shit fest I've ever seen. This is worse than a soup sandwich. I mean, this is bad. This is like fucking all over the place because they're trying to get rid of masculine words, and they're admitting to it. They're admitting to it. So you probably won't be able to say master's degree or some degree of sundown, but they don't have that on here yet. But what about master's degree? They're gonna probably change that to becoming an expert in, and then whatever that degree's in. I'm like, what the fuck? But they're getting rid of masculinity, guys. They want to feminize everything and get rid of masculinity. That's the problem, and that is the idea, or that is how you take down a society. You get rid of masculinity and you knock masculinity, and that's exactly what they're doing. Mastered a subject, conquered a subject. Mastered a subject or conquered a subject. They don't want you to say. They want you to say expert on the topic. The word master, conquer, and subject to call mind the violence of hierarchical dictatorships and colonialism. Hierarchical, dictatorship. Oh, this one. Don't say grandfathered. Don't say grandfather clause. Say legacy clause. The original grandfather clause was used to disenfranchise potential voters. That's stupid. Peanut gallery. Don't say that. Don't say peanut gallery. Say audience or balcony seat. Used to refer to the cheapest seats at a show, this term is historically been applied to derogatory towards black people. Really? Because black people were the only people that sat in cheap seats? How about the cheap broke fucks that couldn't afford anything that sat in the cheap seats? How did this fucking go to the whatever? And people in the cheap seats ate peanuts. People in the higher sedity seats didn't. That's what it refers to. It doesn't refer to black folks. They are trying to change history as well as getting rid of masculinity. They're trying to change historical meaning. Suicide. Suicides. This is an exercise drill, guys, right? Those of you that played football remember the fucking drill suicides. They no longer want that being used in the exercise sense. They want to call running drills to avoid minimizing serious issues. Holy fuck, shit, piss. They don't want you to say, finish your food to your children. They don't want you to say, finish your food. There are starving children in Africa. They don't want you to say that. They want you to say, finish your food and be grateful you have. Be grateful for what you have because others have less. The expression is often and perpetuates the stereotype that Africa is made up of countries that cannot feed their people, implying Western superiority. Yes, there are many African countries that can't feed it. This is stupid. This is so stupid. They're turning shit around. There are African countries that can't feed their people. Hence, you point to Africa. Hell, you could also say, and I've said it before, finish your food. There's starving kids in India. I've said that before. There's starving kids in, I don't know, what else? Fucking China, right? I've said that before. So again, now you could change up the state or the country. They want you to not say it. They want you to finish your food and be grateful for what you have because others have less. This couldn't have been a more gayer fucking live stream. Like seriously, this is outrageously bad. They're like, oh, you said offensive words. Now there are more words that they're looking to add to the list, but right now, it's the oppressive language list. It came out last year, actually, August of last year. They redid it this year, and then they started a page. They started that group I told you about back in 2021. So, May 20th of this year, 2022. The introduction to elimination of harmful language and initiatives. Matter of fact, guys, I'm going to share this link with all of you guys so you can all suffer with me. Now, this is some straight bullshit. Like, seriously. So I put the link in the thing here. Because God forbid I call it a fucking the chat. They're going to be like, oh my God, that's offensive too. They are. So, guys, the link's in the chat. Look at it. Read it yourself. Laugh at it. Yes, Michelle Diaz, get a headache over it. Because this is fuck. Listen. We all see what they're doing. And when you say this out loud, people look at you and they make fun of you. And they're like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? That's not the case. That's not true. They're not trying to change us. They're not trying to take our language away from us. They're absolutely taking our language from us, guys. If we have to change our vernacular to talk now. If we can't say, hey, there's a lot of starving kids in Africa, you better eat that food. They're making that offensive. You can't say spaz. And TV shows, guys, are reflecting this. This is why TV shows are going to start dying, hopefully soon. Hopefully people are canceling them left and right. TV shows that we still watch that are like fucking doing really good now, like Yellowstone. When Yellowstone switches over to this woke bullshit, because we will stop watching that show. Sons of Anarchy was a very, very good show until the last season. The last season got fucking woke. I mean, it was bad. They fucking had a transgender in there. One of the guys in the group was fucking him. They let a black guy into the group, and he was a lead. They wanted to make him one of the lead members of the. I'm like, and the black guy thing wasn't bad, but they got woke all at once. And Jax was like, they tried to make Jax as like Jesus Christ. He paid for his sins, and they got too fucking biblical and woke at the same time, and it crashed and burned. But yeah, a lot of TV shows, guys, I just don't watch now. I don't watch, and as soon as they bring that woke bullshit in it, I stop watching it right then and there. I give every show a shot. And then when it gets too woke, I fucking stop watching it. Right, A New Beginning. Sons of Anarchy was a good show, but that last season sucked, man. It was just like, what the fuck, man? Really? all over the place with this bullshit. But I turned my TV off 3 years ago. Gene, I'm following suit, man. I'm following suit because it's just too bad. It's getting bad. Every movie, every TV show, and it's one thing if you write like a gay person in it, fine. But every TV show is writing LGBT characters in it, and for what? I don't have any gay friends, like zero. The way that they make it sound like in the TV shows, like everyone knows or has a LGBT friend. Don't forget being, and yes, the Black Star Boys, exactly. Being honest is now politically incorrect, right? You can't be honest. You can't share. If you're honest, forget. If they're honest, if the leftists are honest, they're like, he's brave for saying what he's saying. If the right is honest, they're lying, they're fucking racist, they're all this other bullshit under the sun. But Michelle, Diaz, Oz was good. Oz was written very well. Oz was after lifestyle in prison. Like that was a really good show. They weren't woke. They were showing what was going on. But yeah, Brian, yeah, they're making every superhero gay now. They're adding a gay, like there's one thing to have a gay superhero. Like if the guy, like comes out of the sky with his fucking pink cape on and he's like dropping glitter on people and he's like, here bitches, and then you turn into like a dildo, I'd be like, all right, that's an odd superpower to have, but nonetheless, it's his own power, right? If he's fucking like he's nunchucking with dildos and hitting dudes in the face with it, you're like, all right, that's a weird fucking weapon to use, but nonetheless, it's his. But when you start making known heroes gay, yes, Flo Smith, you're not allowed to say American either, because saying America apparently it defines America's power, superpower, that we're strong and all sort of bullshit. It's like it's fucking out of control. But yeah, it's just it's fucking enough, man. Enough with this bullshit. And the gay community, and then here's the LGBT community. Here's the thing with it. The truth is, a lot of them don't agree with this bullshit that's going on. They don't agree with all of the shit on TV. They don't agree with all the bullshit, what they're seeing on TikTok. They don't agree with it, and so they're trying to step up. They're trying to speak, but they get shadow banned and all this other bullshit because they're standing on the other side of the fucking history, or with us, going, this is bullshit. Why do we have drag queens with fucking, at kids' parties or kids' schools? Why are we hosting kid parties with drag queens with their titties hanging out, right? But listen, man, it's bad, and it's only going to get worse. Now, as parents, we need to be dropping the hammer wholeheartedly. Like we need to be fucking putting it down and setting the shit straight, because this is bad. We don't meet them. Here's how bad it is. Because I was gonna say we don't meet them halfway. We're done. You know that if you get into a fight with anyone from the LGBT community, you get into a fist fight with one, because that guy called you an asshole and you called him an asshole. You never said anything about his sexuality. You never called him anything out of your name. You just called him a dick. And as you're punching him, you're calling him you piece of shit. You fucking Biden loving motherfucker. Like you're saying all of this shit to him, but because he's gay, in certain countries, certain cities like New York, you can be arrested for fucking a hate crime, and they will charge you with the hate crime and then figure it out in court. The cops will charge you with hate crime, or the DA will charge you with hate crime. Rather, sorry. So yeah, it's bad, man. It's really bad. Duckman, yeah. She says, how do I change my name? I'm really Sue, and I'm a girl. But Mark Chase, who wrote the list, Stanford University wrote the list. They compiled this list together. They put their brains together. Instead of worrying about how to cure fucking cancer, they're worried about how to fucking stop using words. They are changing the English language. They said, oh, we're not trying to do that. You absolutely are. You changed the English language to fit your bullshit narrative, and so that we don't hurt people's feelings. But what happens when those words or those phrases become offensive? Are we going to change it again? Remember, they want you to say rape now. And before, they didn't want you to say rape. So see how we're flip-flopping with words now? We're going to keep flip-flopping words because we listen to a bunch of psych patients who are running around smacking people in the fucking head with rubber vaginas and fucking dildos. We're listening to these fucking assholes. This is where we are now. So now we got to change everything around because of them, because of the less than 1% of society, or rather, sorry, the 5% of society. And out of that 5% of society, it's less than 1% who want these changes. The other 4% just wants to be left alone. They want to be gay and fucking march into the sunset with their high heels on and listening to Diana Ross. But the other fucking less than 1%, they want to make all this fucking noise. Right? The Gays Against Groomers, they're on Instagram. You should check them out. For those of you that want to check them out, they're a pretty interesting group. There's a gay guy in it that's pretty funny because some of the shit he says, he's just like, what the fuck and why? And it's he's funny. A lot of the other guys, they're very informative about the shit that's coming out. But more of them need to come out. That's the issue. They asked that if you're talking about the Odd Couple, they asked that a long time ago. Were they gay? And they had addressed it years ago. No, they were not gay. They were two dudes that lived together and they liked each other's company. Today's Odd Couple would be gay. There'd be a sex scene in there, right? It just, again, look at Interview with a Vampire. I know some of you are going to say, well, Lestat was gay. Yeah, but the way it is in the TV show wasn't like that in the book. There was no love making in the air, but whatever. I'm going too far. Anyway, guys, this is a little longer than I wanted it to be. I just wanted to get that bullshit out there because it's fucking horrendous. Horrendous what they're doing to the English language and how they're telling us how we should speak. Everything starts, guys, with advice or recommendation, or we consider you guys to use. It starts out that way, and then when you start not listening and you have a TV show and you go, yo, he spazzed the fuck out, people are like, holy shit. If any celebrities looks at this list, they look at this list today and they go, hey guys, people on Twitter are going to fucking go up in arms over this shit. They're going to be like, hey guys, you can't say that. You have to say y'all or folks or you all loved ones. You can't say guys. You can't say ladies and gentlemen. I'm non-binary. Imagine. They're going to force us, they're going to try to force us to change our vernacular. They're going to force us to try and use considered words. This is the beginning, guys, of changing the language. After the language is changed, guys, what do they go after next? Books. Books are on the table in the near future. Probably not right now, not today, not this minute, but they will be. People will go through a book and go, oh my God, Shakespeare said, where art thou guys? That's offensive. So no, he never said we're out our guys, but you get my point. It's to that point, guys. They're gonna start looking at fucking Shakespearean writing and picking out the woke bullshit. And oh my God, he said fighting. That's aggressive. We can't have that in there. They're going to fucking start changing the way people write books, the way people speak, the way media and news guys speak. They're gonna change all of that. And right now, a lot of celebrities are on this. They won't use any of those words. The words that you can't use, they'll be like, all right, we can't use this, we can't say that. They will look at this and consider it and start changing the way things are spoken. Yes, Autumn Backyard. Yes, welcome to the credit scoring system. This is probably part of it. Oh my God, he said, guys, dock him 1 point off his social credit score. Yo, guys, I'm telling you, the fighting that needs to be done needs to start. Needs to start. Because if we just sit by and go, well, it's not that bad, it's going to get bad. Because when it gets to, we want to stop it before it goes to book burning, before they start banning books, before they look at books and go, oh, get that off the shelves. Now, yes, there are books that should be banned out of kids' libraries, like fucking Julia has a penis. No, Julia doesn't have a penis. And that book shouldn't be in a kid's bookstore or a kid's library at school. It should be at Barnes and Nobles and let the parents introduce to Julia has a penis and Max has a vagina, right? Those are the books that you let parents do, not schools, right? Fucking Harry wants to wear a dress. No, those books don't belong in fucking schools. But those books should be banned out of kids' school library, not Barnes and Nobles. The sick fuck who made them, it shouldn't be made at all. But I don't agree with book burning or book banning. That's just me. Yes, sir. Do not comply. Do not comply with any of it, guys. Use all those words in there. Start using them. Here in New York City, man, if I said, yo, that guy just spazzed the fuck out, I'm waiting for someone to say some shit to me. You can't say that. I'm like, bitch, eat a dick. You know, like that'll be my instant response. It's always a chick here who will say some shit like that. She's like, oh, you can't say guys. I'm not a guy. Yeah, well, we're not fucking going down that road. Jane wants a dress. Offensive. It's all offensive, guys. It's just, that's where it is right now. And parents are like, well, my son likes to wear a dress, but he's not a girl. Well, then your son's a fucking pansy, is what he is. Put a fucking shoulder pads and a helmet on him, get him into football, man. Holy shit. Harriet can get fucked. Yeah, who's Harriet? Always, like I said, I don't see everything, but when I do catch it, I'm like, what the fuck? There's some infighting going on here. Anyway, guys, it's all again, soup sandwich. I just learned that term the other day. I heard it. I was like, soup sandwich. Oh, like that's fucking. Oh, okay, I get it. It's gonna get messy. Next year, it's gonna be fucking messy. Soup sandwich. That's my new thing now. You're gonna hear me saying that when shit's getting out of control. Anyway, guys, with that, thank you for joining me tonight. Uh, I did do the collab with Bull Hansen a year ago, 2 years ago. I'm looking to do one again with him again. He's fun to talk to. I haven't spoken to him in a while. I should reach out to him. Anyway, with that, guys, I will see you guys next week. So anything else, guys? Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for supporting the channel like you guys always do. Head over to Autumn Backyard Guards, ABG Relaxing Vibes. Go over to her channel. Like and subscribe to that. She will be putting some of her videos on that channel as of now until she gets her channel back. And any updates from her channel will come from her. Will not come from the rest of us unless we watched her video on her update. Right, guys? Other than that, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's for those of you I might not see on here again. I don't know. And I will see you guys next week. All right, guys? Good night.